The following video has been brought to you today by Kuma-chan.
Hi, I'm Kuma-chan.
And Kuma-chan loves him some Transformers, don't you, Kuma-chan?
Yes.
Hello, greetings, salutations, and welcome to this, my final part of the Superion review featuring Silverbolt, their leader, and Powerglide. So there they are, the final parts of this. Powerglide with teeny tiny self, and as always, I am Kylo the NESMAN here with the wifey, Kelsey Yasha, TwinkleMane.
Hi.
Don't you love how cute that is? Anyway, we are going to be discussing my feelings on Silverbolt and Powerglide. Originally, I wasn't going to introduce Powerglide into this, but I don't mind him so much. I had to look at him. It took me a while. I love the old school Powerglide, how cocky he was, but they didn't use him too often, after a couple of initial runs. But this time they made him something of a target master, and we'll get into that in detail. But first, let's take Silverbolt out of the picture for now, and we are going to focus on Powerglide, so we can get that out of the way. Now, Powerglide himself is modeled after an A-10 Warthog, and he is one of the few Autobots who can fly under his own power, but just like Slingshot, he is hella cocky about it. It goes right to his head. As an aerial acrobat, he rarely flies in a straight line. He loves a good dogfight because it gives him the chance to show off, and his, all of his aerial skills, his tricks, and all types of flippity-floppity floops, all the stuff he does in the air. And his biggest strength is also his biggest weakness. He's awesome, and he knows it. But he's too reckless in his goal to prove it against stronger foes, and that could be his downfall someday. Now, going by the original figurine, this design is very nice. It's very tiny. It literally fits in the palm of your hand. Whereas if I was to take any one of my other figures, he just does not stack up. Like legitimately, Superion's gun is actually longer than Powerglide. And most Autobots and Decepticons I have are about maybe about that high in length, maybe higher. So he's really tiny. He's I wouldn't exactly call him a Micromaster, but I'd call him a Microbot. He's really tiny. What do you think, babe?
Compared to Rustus, who's taller?
I say Powerglide, and that's sad. Rust Dust of the Rust Renegades is, I think, they're maybe the same size. I would get it, but it's currently attached to Victorian, and I don't want to separate them yet. But maybe we'll do a size comparison with that later. But anyway, I love the detailing on this. His little gun in the front. His the cockpit is very well painted. Nice design of this vehicle. The A-10 Warthogs were pretty decent planes. I mean, they're not F-16s, but they're good. And in case you can't tell, I love me some F-16s. But that's not what this is. The engine jets in the back gives him some nice whooshy flying. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
That almost sounded UFO-ish.
I'm not doing the whooshy sound effects for Powerglide. But I like the wings. They extend pretty well. You can't really see much robot kibble in this one because it's all leg. He looks like he could form the leg of a larger, smaller bot. I don't know. But he forms a gun, which is odd. It's kind of an oddball thing. Autobot symbol on the bottom there. Those are his arms that you really can't tell. They look more like proper engines underneath, and that's not bad. The only reason you can even tell their arms is because of the hole here and the fist that just, holds out like that. So, yeah, unlike the other, I don't want to even say other aerial bots because I don't want to consider Powerglide an aerial bot, but I guess he's one, because the wiki says sometimes he's an aerial bot, so he's aerial bot-ish.
So he's a vowel?
He's a vowel. He's the Y. The aerial bots are A, E, I, O, and U, and Powerglide's the Y, because he's sometimes an aerial bot. So he's the Y. Why did you include him in this? That's the thing. But yeah, the back wings here are pretty well detailed. This plastic is nice and sturdy, not overly complicated, not very super hard, but not super soft either. It almost feels like wood, this particular. So, that being said, I'm going to get him transformed up into his gun mode. And we leave the landing gear down for this because apparently the landing gear is what you use for the handle. So what you do is you untab the wings like so. I'm going to take these up and it comes right out. Don't be afraid. And you're going to do that. And the wings are going to come back here like this. And you see this little hole right here? That little hole, that's going to tab in to that peg just like that. See right here? I'm going to turn that up, and where's the peg? The peg is right there. The hole is right there. So, well, actually, not that hole, it's this one. And snap it in, snap, snap, and boom. That's part of the gun. That's part of the gun form right there. Then, what we do is we're going to take this. It is hard because I do not have nails. I'm going to take this, it makes it easier. Like that. And bring that up. And that's the scope. That is the scope of the gun right there. So when he's held, you can see out of that somehow. And what else we do is, he's not done yet. Push that all the way forward. Oops. Oh, and it slid right off, but that's okay. That's okay. Because it's a slider. It's a slider. This pops right off. Let's see. Ah, shit. Shoot. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. See? Snaps right on. So don't be afraid if yours pops off a little bit. So I'm going to move that wing down. Slide that down some more. And what I will say is the legs do have a tendency to unhinge themselves because they're not exactly locked in the best way. You know, they tend to come undone. So right here, all you have to do is snap those in together like that. And there you go. And sorry. I believe the wings stay down like that. If not, they come up like that. Either way you want it is fine. You can have it either way. Like that. Boom. And there's his gun. Now, you can hold him just like that. And I'll show you what that looks like in Silverbolt's hands in a moment. But on that subject, let's get down to the design of this gun. It is weird. This is a weird Target Master configuration. Now, I have to say, amongst all the Target Master guns I've seen in my life and collecting Transformers, this one is one of the weirdest. I see the scope right there. How am I supposed to see out of that from the back? You know, because there's nothing in the back there. I don't know. Maybe Powerglide sees it and he just tells them what's up. I don't know. But this is just a weird design for me. I don't hate it, but I don't altogether think it's outstanding. I'm about 50-50 with Powerglide as a gun. Literally, I'm half and half with it. So in the meantime, let's move on to the big guy. The final piece of Superion. That's being... whoosh, Silverbolt. And he is a big guy. Let's back this up a bit. Raise, back up. Silverbolt, you are large and in charge. Now, Optimus Prime made Silverbolt the leader of the aerial bots to give him other things to focus on besides his fear of heights. He is very strong and very mature and able to lead his team well. He's modeled after a Concorde SST, supersonic transport. And I will say, his fear of heights has come into play in the animated series a couple of times. And he fights. He fights to fight that fear of heights. He is strong-willed. He is the type to never give up. He is focused, and like me, I am scared to death of heights, frankly. So if I was an aerial bot, I would definitely have to be Silverbolt. I'm not all about fast tricks and being supersonic or being, being that guy that wants to show off or anything like that. I'm not your typical bookworm. The only reason I would put myself as Silverbolt is for the fact that, he's strong. He tends to be mature when the situation calls for it. And his fear of heights, like me. So yeah, I definitely would consider myself Silverbolt. But I like him. I do like the way this Concorde is designed. Now, let's get a load of this nice long neck. That long neck. I mean, seriously, that is some neck right there. But then that's what a Concorde was. It was long. I think I flew in a Concorde once when I was a kid. I don't remember. The wing design is very, very, very large as compared to his aerial bot brethren, but it has to be because he's the main guy. You got the Autobot symbols on the wings very nicely. And now, I don't have the repro labels that would say Silverbolt across either side. Maybe I'll get them. Who's to say? Underneath, like all the others, is all the chunk of robot kibble. But I can forgive this one because, like all the others, it is an awesome-looking plane. Without question, it is amazing. I love how this nice little rubbery... This is rubbery, not too hard, not too soft, so, there's no really risk of it damaging. The nose cone is also made of a nice hard rubber, and it comes off like that, and it goes back up like that, and it comes down like that, and it goes back up like that. Landing gear is made of a nice sturdy plastic, which goes up and down. So we're going to bring it back up because soon we're going to transform him into his robot mode. And in this position, he looks supersonic. He looks very fast. In the back, you have the engines in the back, and I've seen other reviewers comment about these very things. You could see the legs and the hips a little too much here, but they're trying to be engines, and they're not pulling it off too well. I can take it or leave it. Again, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's outstanding kind of thing. Love how the windows are well designed in there. You got your first class section, you got your coach section, you got your luggage area in the back. And same thing can be said on the side. You got your first class, you got your coach, you got your luggage in the back. So,
you got your crates underneath the planes?
Yeah. The crates under the planes, they probably fall out though. This is all wide open and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't think Silverbolt will be designed to carry someone from here to Hawaii. Especially since I don't think he'd make the trip. He'd probably walk it. He'd probably walk it. I don't know. Or swim it.
You're like Darwin Blanca.
Yeah. But let's get him transformed up, shall we? First thing you're going to do is when you transform him up, you're going to take the nose cone, the whole enchilada back here, and you're going to bring it down after you move that. So boom. Just like that. Now, the whole assembly is more or less unfolding the plane, as it's not so complicated. I love how none of the aerial bots are hella complicated to transform. They're very simple, but very fun. So, with that being said, let me raise the camera up just a little bit so you can see all the parts here, make it a little bit easier, and bam. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the arms, well first, we're going to take the wings right here, see? What these wings do is there's a little tab right here, there's a little hole right here, and the wings, they tab into there securely. So you're going to untab that. On this side, you're going to do the same thing. Now, to the wings hold, you see this part of the wing right here? This is going to tab right into that slot there. And it's going to be that way on both sides. They have a tendency to fall out too, but they're nice and snappy, nice and clicky. And on the subject clicky, hear that click. Oh my god. All that beautiful clicking. Oh, it's amazing. Some beautiful clicking right there. You can tell this is his arm right here. All right. I'm sorry, I just love things that go click. I love clicky things. It tells the joints are really tight on this one. I'm going to raise the arm up that way. Raise the arm up that way to get them out of the way. And we're going to bring the legs down. And we're going to bring the leg down. Turn it around so that the red part is on the side here. Just like that. And we're going to bring it around. Turn it around like that so the red part's on the side.
At this point, he looks like a giant T.
Yes.
So he's the Teen Titan building?
And Silverbolt now has a third form, thanks to my wife. He is the Teen Titans headquarters. Awesome. We just made Silverbolt a triple changer, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, moving on. We're going to have this open. Now, this right here, I've always found difficulty in moving. So what I tend to do is I tend to take a scissors or something else like that. And I tend to go in the back and pull that out. That might not be your way to do it, but, you know, it's easier for me. I'm very careful. Legs come out. Legs come all the way around. And the heel fell off. Maybe scissors is not the way to go. No, but it's all right, because they snap back in. Thankfully, you see, I'm not embarrassed when a piece of toy falls off, because most of these things are on ball joints. So they're very easy to snap back on, thankfully. So what I do is I'll take this, bring that up, because it's very difficult to get your nail in there. And then get that up. And again, get scissors in there. I am so sorry, because this is kind of crude, but this is very hard to flap up. Give me a minute. There we go, right there, see? That pops up for the heels. So that the heels, they stay down like that, and they make it so that he's able to stand up under his own power. Now, basically what we're going to do, bring the arms down, bring them around, like that. Oops. And where is his head? Good golly, his head's missing. Not to worry. His head is here somewhere, I think. We have to get his head out of his chest. Again, it's another pop-up thing. Again, the things I don't care for too much are when the... sorry. I am so sorry. He is a headless Silverbolt at this moment. Let me see. Let us find an easy... Oh, there it is. It's in the back. It's in the back. In the back. Give me a moment. Dum, 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 dum.
We'll be back after these messages.
Now, what you have to do here is basically this whole thing comes up, bring it down, bring the head out. It tends to get stuck on mine, and it comes out like that. Very simple. Not so simple, really, but it's a little bit tricky. And there you have the bolt of silverness. You have Silverbolt, and he is a strong-looking guy. I mean, I love me some Silverbolt. Move this out the way. Let's stand him up sturdy enough. And there we go. Oops, I am so sorry. Tilt, 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 tilt. Haha. Silverbolt is, in fact, the leader of the aerial boss, and he's a damn good one, too. I love the fact that, like his brethren, he has multiple modes of articulation. They go up and around, all the way around with both arms. Both arms come out all the way. And he's able to do this. He's able to do that. It's extremely clicky and extremely tight. So you know you're getting a good figure here. You are getting an amazing, amazing figure with Silverbolt. Oh, one thing I forgot to do on the back of the legs. Close them up. Just like that. You see the robot kibble on the back, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine because it's not really necessary to talk about. It's just the jets, they got to go somewhere. The head comes all the way up and goes all the way down, does a full turn all the way around, and that in itself is Silverbolt. He's a damn good jet, and as I said, we're going to pop in Powerglide and show how well he fits as a weapon, which is, again, pretty weird. And because how clicky Silverbolt's arm is, Powerglide is going to stay. It's going to stay just like that. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, he makes a much better weapon than some of the stuff that they've come with. I will say he is just weird. It's just weird seeing Powerglide as a gun. Now, I know there are Autobots and Decepticons that were purposely made into Target Masters, but this one just, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird to me. It's weird. It's weird. I'm sorry. I'm not going to keep talking about how weird it is. But yeah, he fits in most Autobot and Autobot hands or Decepticon hands if you so chose to put him there. But let's also show Powerglide in his robot mode. Because I'm going to let you know now, in the Perfect Effect hands, Powerglide doesn't really fit in them well. So, Powerglide, to get him from the gun robot mode, it's a very simple transformation. All you have to do is put this back. We're going to split the legs apart. And the legs go back. The feet come down. Just like that, so you can have something to stand on. The arms come on just like that. They untab. Oops. See? Again, they pop right off. But it's okay, because these are on ball joints, so they come right off pretty easily. So all you have to do is unbend it. Now, this is the tricky part for me. Sometimes. See, you're trying to embarrass me, Powerglide. I see that now. So, we're going to take this, and the head is in there. It's nice and tight. I'm going to take that and turn it. Sorry, just like that, see? Because it turns all the way around. Let me get a little bit closer so you can see. Now, what you probably didn't see me do is when the head comes on like this, you can turn it. See? It turns like that. So, you have to turn it to face up. And bam. And it snaps right in. And there is Powerglide. Right there with his good buddy Silverbolt. Now, Powerglide as a robot, I've always liked his design. I've always liked how the engines are right there at the legs. But this one is not really for me. This one is more for the wifey. This is her figure now because I promised it to her. As soon as I was going to get it, I said this would be hers. So, that being said, in a moment, we are going to transform these guys up into Superion, and we're going to put some limbs on him. But first, let's put Silverbolt in his body form. Now, so to take Silverbolt and put him into his body form, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to raise his hand in the air, just like that. Like that, see? Now, to show all that off, let's go and getting a little top heavy on me. There we go. I'm going to raise up the camera so you can see more. Do-do-do. 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 Now, basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this, fold that back to reveal the combiner ports. Take the head, bring it down, pop that back in, and just like that. Now, what we're going to do is flip them around completely because this is going to be the lower half. How, you may ask? You'll see momentarily. We're going to take the legs, turn them around like that. And it's more or less a mission of turning him back into plane mode, sort of. I'm going to open that up, flip that down, flip that in, close. Same side, other thing. We're going to open that up, flip that down, flip it in, close. And this is a pretty simple matter. First though, your whole business about this is this here. You want to make sure that that's lined up in the back. You want to see exactly how I did that. You're going to leave this open so that we'll take this, turn it around, and bring that back just like that, so that in the back it's all lined up nice and tight. So bring that back like we did before, and let's get his head out here, shall we? Now, again, this is another scissors thing for me because I can't find I don't have a nail strong enough. I don't recommend you do this. If you've got nails, use them. use your nails if you got them. But I'm the type of guy that's daring. Silverbolt's head comes up. Well, Superion's head comes up, antennas come up, and boom, just like that. And make sure Silverbolt's head in there is pushed down so that you can lift this up. Right? Now, we're going to close the bits, the chest on the side like that, so they tab in securely, and then bam, you've got Superion's body. And this is, without question, the best combiner body ever. I know a lot of people have said it before. By the way, flip this down so you can reveal the combiner ports. This is the best combiner body ever. I love it. I absolutely love how detailed this is and the sweet way they chose to actually make it combine, to make it transform into a body. It's not like all the others where they sacrifice a ton of mobility. And you can see on the head, it doesn't do a complete turn because of all the junk in the back, but it's fine. Because Silverbolt's primarily Superion now, the limbless Superion, is your primary display piece. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get some limbs on this bad boy. So we are going to start with Skydive as the right leg. And it slides in nice and securely, like that, because I've had him ready and waiting. And we're going to have Air Raid, just like that, so that he stands up nice and tall with the Perfect Effect feet. Let me bring that down so you can actually see those big feet. Now, normally you can use the other hand feet, but as I said in the first video, the Perfect Effect feet are definitely the way to go. I will say that this is, to me, a mandatory upgrade. So, let's get this up. Sorry about the shakiness of my camera. Then we are going to get some arms on him. Slide that in. Just like that. Nice and smooth. And the last one, slingshot. And there he is. And here we have him in all his put-together glory, Superion. And in my opinion, he is absolutely superior to all other combiners, especially in terms of looks. Now, if you want to go by power, then yeah, there are plenty that are stronger than him. Say, Defensor, or Predaking, or Bruticus for that matter. But I like Superion for sentimental reasons because this was the first ever combiner that I ever got as a kid. Plus, I think it honestly looks better in terms of things put together than the other combiners. But from top to bottom, let's go in on all the jet arms, the jet body, and the jet legs. You know, every other combiner has a specific theme, and the aerial bots were no different. 5 supersonic jets that combine into one colossal robot. Now, one of the main reasons why I absolutely love the aerial bots as Superion is because the other combiners, say for example the protector bots as Defensor, don't get me wrong, love them. But you have 5 different vehicles, although yes, rescue themed, they're all different molds. Now, normally that's not a bad thing. In fact, it's never a bad thing, at least to me. But the mold of a fire truck, a helicopter, a motorcycle, a police car, and an ambulance. Yes, those are all rescue vehicles, but each a different kind of vehicle. Whereas I think the concept of 5 jets just looks so much better together. And yeah, they're all roughly the same mold, except for Superion. So one could argue that they are, 4 of the exact same mold on the side, whereas Alpha Bravo, if you had gotten that variant, was another helicopter. But frankly, I'm glad I didn't because I've already got Victorion, that I gave to the wifey, whom says hi, by the way. And I gotta say, 4 helicopter variants of the same mold is a little bit too much. I mean, Stormclash and Skyburst were the same helicopter variant as Blades, and all those body types are pretty much the same variant here. Now, again, you could make the argument, why do I have multiples of the same mold? Because it depends on how that mold is used. Take, for example, the aerial bots here. They all look astounding because they're just the right kind. They're the right typing. You know, it's just so well put together to see 4 jets on a Concorde. It just looks right. It feels right. It feels more comfortable than all the others. Even though I am in love with Victorion, not in that way. I love Defensor, I love Predaking, and other combiners that I will get in the future. I'm sure I'll love them too. But Superion just looks more put together for me. It looks more, what's the word I'm looking for? It just looks proper. It looks right. You know, and going into close-up, a little bit of close-up design, that facial design is really nice. I didn't get the Perfect Effect upgrade for the chest. I didn't feel it was necessary because, yeah, it makes it a little bit bigger, but it's too hefty a price for too hefty a piece. You know, one piece, one major price, it just doesn't work for me. But the Perfect Effect hands, as you can see here, these look so much better than, you know, than the hand feet that come with the original set. Because as you can see, each individual finger is individually movable, and they have so much more articulation. There's so many more things you could do. For example, you know, he's got his hand out like that. You know, he can say, "Come on, just bring it." You know, Superion has that flavor to him. The movement is beautiful. In any of the aerial bots, as I showed you in the very first video, can become limbs. So you can have Slingshot here, example, as a leg, as an arm, doesn't matter. And they all have the same amount of articulation going up and around. And because you can see by the joints here, how they connect to Silverbolt means they're nice and sturdy. They're so well focused. It's just beautiful. I love playing with this toy. I love seeing it. I love having it on display. Now the legs, I'm not going to lie, can be a bit tricky for me, but you got to be careful. Like every other Transformer you get, like right here, the legs do come up very nicely, and they bend rather smoothly. Both legs do that. Take my word for it. The Perfect Effect feet, as you can see, much bigger and much thicker than the typical hand feet that come with the set. And yeah, I know what you're thinking, all you purists out there, why don't I have it where the jet pieces are in the back? Well, you can do that, but it just doesn't feel right to me. I actually like this variant better with the the jet parts in the front. I'll even turn them around just to show you that they can be done. See right here, all you basically would have to do is turn it around like that. And it kind of kills, the articulation. An easier way to do that would be, well, not letting the foot fall off. If you want to turn the leg around completely, you can, and it does like that. But you sacrifice a crap ton of articulation, and that's why I'd rather not have it. Now, if the G1 purist in you wants to have it on display like that, then you can, it's never going to move. But if it's for display purposes only, then that's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your toy. Head articulation comes somewhat around. It doesn't go all the way around. Or rather, yes, it does. Look at that. You just have to do it a certain way. And in the back, you can do one of two things here. For the back, you can have the wings out if you so desire. If you want that ostentatious authentic G1 look, you can have that, or you can have this, which I prefer. I kind of prefer this to have the wings out of the way, and I prefer it. It's just a preference for me, personal preference. This is capable of a myriad of poses. Lots of different ways, and it looks good either way, whether it's on display as the 5 aerial bots or as the major Superion right here. Now, forgive me for not doing a size comparison with my others. I just don't have the space for it on this table right now, but perhaps I'll do a video separating the size comparisons with some of the other figures. But primarily, I just wanted to go on and say that Superion is, in my book, the absolute best combiner. The The Perfect Effect hands and feet, I feel, are a must-have for the aesthetic look, for the overall better look. I think I can deal with the hand feet that normally come with it, but I say it's worth the price. These are very difficult to come by, so if you can get the Perfect Effect hands and feet for Superion, by all means, get them. It is definitely well worth it. That being said, though, you're going to see this in more articulation in future skits. I promise you that, with the separate aerial bots and possibly as combiners. I'm working on it, so bear with me. They'll be coming soon. Don't know when, but primarily, this is just a wonderful figure. It's very hefty, very tall, as you can see, and it's pretty sturdy. Pretty sturdy. All the parts are connected very well. Let's see. Let me show you right there in the knee joints, right about here. Let's turn this about so you can see it right there, where Skydive and Air Raid connect. They are locked in very securely, so you don't have to worry about them falling apart or falling out as you move them too much. And in the shoulder joints, you have Fireflight connected very well. Right about here, if you can see it, they slide into Silverbolt as you saw when I transformed him. And it's just it's in a way so you could just do these amazing dynamic poses. I mean, look at this. Look at this right here. That is commanding. That is just such a commanding thing. He is a commanding man, a super robot man, a superior man. He is Superion. Now, with that being said, I am sorry for all the gushing, but this is just, it couldn't wait. I had to gush. I am so sorry. But yes, you can see the details in the elbows, which would be the Aerialbot's legs. This mold I like very much so because of the fact that they look like they're designed to be legs and arms. They look like they're designed for limbs in this mode. They look like they belong on Superion. Now, all other Combiner robots, say the Protectobots or the Rust Renegades, you could combine with them as well. If you have other combiners, like say, for example, Moonracer and Firestar, you can combine them as well. Or if you have Jazz and Ironhide from this line, you can combine them as well. Wouldn't look nearly as fun, but it's a possible thing you can do. Hence the Scramble City functionality. You could still mix and match these with lots of other combinations, like you can do with the Rust Renegades and the Protectobots. But all of those would look kind of wonky and look like, oh, well, we have to do this just because we have to. Or if one falls off, we have another to go to. But they look perfect together. They look amazing. They look like they belong as part of it, as a cohesive unit. And that's why I love the Aerialbots. One more thing I would like to discuss is the head sculpt here. Let's get a little bit closer. I love the fact they went with the original faceplate helm, and it's a nice sticker detail on the eyes, the visor here. These are not the original, for those of you who can tell. This is not the original antennae that come with Superion's head on this mold. This is not the Perfect Effect mold that I'm aware of. This came from, as I said, my friend who sold this to me on Facebook. I believe that was Justin. Yes, Justin indeed. He's just incredible. He hooked me up lovely with these Aerialbots, and I have to thank him again so much so. Justin Duvall, if you're watching, thank you so much. These Aerialbots are amazing. Superion is amazing. I've said amazing like 10 times, haven't I? Like, if you want to have a fun drinking game, take a shot every time I say amazing. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Water if you want to survive. But anyway, I think that's it. That's all I'll say for the Aerialbots. They are my favorite combiner team, and now you know the reasons why. They're so well designed. The sharpness on the arms, the sharpness on the legs. You don't want to get kicked by either one of them with those nose cones hitting you in the knee, in the crotch. You don't want that.
Ball bearings.
All in the ball bearings will hurt so badly. You don't want that. What you do want is the Superion set. Go out and get you Superion, especially if you can find it with Quick Slinger. Because Alpha Bravo, no thank you. And I know I should have covered Powerglide a little bit more, but I don't feel he's an aerial bot. I don't even feel he makes to be honest, he makes a decent weapon, but not for them. Maybe for some others. I wouldn't put Powerglide in this group. He's a good robot. That's why I passed him off to the wifey, and she loved it. But thank you, Justin, for that, as she just said. But that's all for now. But I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this 5-part review of the Aerial Bots / Superion. Tune in next week where you will see more Transformers review and more action figures review in the near future. But until then, this is Kylo the NESMAN saying, growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. Childhood into adulthood, brotherhood and sisterhood. I love it all and I love you all. Peace.